We have breaking Dodgers news as the Dodgers have made their first trade of the trade deadline season. Hey, this is Mike Nelson of Dodgers Digest. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. 97% of you have not yet subscribed. I want to thank the 2% of you that have subscribed and have liked the videos. And make sure to subscribe to Dodgers Digest so you don't miss out on any big Dodger news. Let's get right into it. James Paxton, pitcher, has been traded to the Boston Red Sox. That's right, the same James Paxton that pitched this past Sunday against the Dodgers, against the Red Sox, right? Pitched basically against a team that he ended up getting traded to. Kind of a funny situation here. His last game for the Dodgers ended up being, a solid game, and then he ends up getting traded to the team he beat that afternoon. So the Dodgers have traded James Paxton to Boston. You got to remember earlier this week on Monday, Paxton was designated for assignment by the Dodgers. So there was already some rumors or some, rumblings that Paxton could potentially, be moved on. As we reported here on Dodgers Digest earlier this week, there was one reporter that said that Paxton was definitely gone and he was not going to be returning to the Dodgers. And it looks like that ended up being true, as Paxton ends up getting traded to the Boston Red Sox. Basically, just hours ago, this trade was basically finalized. Him getting sent to the Red Sox for a minor leaguer. So, who did the Dodgers get back? Which is kind of what I'm going to go over right now. The Dodgers ended up getting a minor league player, minor league infielder, Moises Bolivar. He's a 17-year-old player. That's who they ended up getting from the Boston Red Sox. Kind of a player that we don't have a lot of information on right now. I couldn't even find a picture of him for this video. He's only 17 years old. He's from Venezuela. And he's played in the Dominican Summer League team for the Red Sox. The Red Sox basically have a Dominican Summer League team, and that's where Bolivar was playing. And he played well, had solid numbers. It's still not enough really to judge. There's not enough in the sample size to really see if this guy's going to be a for real, star in the major leagues. The Dodgers are obviously looking towards the future with this trade. That's basically what they're thinking of right now. Just looking towards the future, letting go of Paxton, who, as we know, want to take a look at his stats this year. Had 18 starts with the Dodgers. 35 years old, a 4.43 ERA. So definitely was not the numbers the Dodgers are looking for. Not really up to par for a team that's trying to contend for a World Series. That's kind of the name of the game right now for the Dodgers. They're trying to put together the best team in baseball history to try to win that 2024 World Series. And I just don't know if James Paxton is really that kind of a player that you can rely on when it comes to these kind of big moments in an actual moment where you're trying to win a World Series, right? Is Paxton really that kind of guy? And that's kind of where we're at right now. So Paxton, like I mentioned, in his last game for the Dodgers this past Sunday, that game started out with Paxton giving up a 2-run homer in the first inning. So that was already kind of a bad omen for Paxton, kind of starting out the game not in a good sense. He ends up, settling down. He gives up only 3 runs. He does strike out 7 in 5 innings. And it just the Dodgers, of course, decided to move on from Paxton earlier this day. As you got to remember, the Dodgers are currently in the midst of getting ready to be buyers at the trade deadline, right? That's kind of what the Dodgers are at the point right now. They're trying to buy up a competitive baseball team so they can make that deep World Series run. That's kind of where the Dodgers are at right now. This trade also signifies that the Red Sox are actually going to be buying at the trade deadline. I think a lot of people were kind of wondering where the Red Sox were going to go, because the Red Sox are kind of in that area where you're not sure if they're going to make the playoffs or not. But it looks like they're buying, trying to just build up a solid ball club to try to make the playoffs. That's kind of where the Red Sox are at. So why did the Dodgers make this trade? I think that's what kind of everybody's thinking about. Why did they make this trade? This is from the New York Post earlier today, just minutes ago, from an article. So this year, Paxton has been struggling to strike out batters this year. A career worst 6.4 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's pretty poor if you think about it. Because basically in modern baseball, you're pitching basically 4 or 5 innings. Somebody his age would pitch maybe 5 innings at the max in a ball game. They're just not going to get to those 6 innings just because of Paxton's age. So he's only picking up basically like 3 strikeouts a game on average. Basically, if you look at his starts this year, and that's just not going to cut it when you're in the playoffs, right? Because you're going to need somebody to go out there and get you some 7-8 strikeouts minimum, right? 7-8 strikeouts minimum in a playoff situation. That's what the Dodgers really need when it comes down to brass tacks, right? They're gonna need somebody to get you 7-8 strikeouts, and his strikeout numbers are like down at 3 per game, right? That's like half of what the Dodgers need. Now, here's another really telling stat also from this trade, which is laid out here in this article. He's tied for 3rd most walks in baseball with 48 walks. 48 walks, and it's only been like half the year. He only pitched 18 games for the Dodgers, and he had 48 walks. So Paxton really struggled to, throw the ball and have control, definitely for the Dodgers, and that's a big no-no. You don't want somebody to be walking basically that many batters in the playoffs, right? Because that could be basically your demise in the playoffs if you start walking batters on a consistent basis like that. It's just not going to cut it, right? So Paxton, I'm going to say I agree with this trade for sure. I think the Dodgers had to let him go. I know the starting pitching is in a bad spot right now for the Dodgers. Dodgers are in a tough situation when it comes to getting good starting pitching, but the Dodgers are all in on Garrett Crochet and Tarek Skubal right now. They're trying to get one of those guys to get on the Dodgers, trying to build up that World Series roster, and I think Paxton just didn't fit in, and I think he's gonna have a lot of opportunities with the Red Sox in the next few months to show that he's still a major league pitcher. The Red Sox are going to be playing important baseball games, and Paxton is going to be there, pitching those games. And we don't know what we're going to get with Bolivar. He could end up being a very good infielder. So we'll just have to wait and see, with that player in the next few years, how he develops in the minor leagues. Remember, subscribe to Dodgers Digest.